Duke Davis,
Ganon Jones Jr., we are the main event.
you're listening to Wrestling Cheers.
Let's go!
Taking your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. And they're always glad you came. You want to go where you can see that troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
And welcome back to Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, especially when you're the main event. This is Wrestling Cheers. We like to talk about things going on in the Northeast Ohio independent wrestling scene. We preview shows, we review shows, and sometimes we even have interviews along the way. This is an interview with Ganon Jones Jr. and Duke Davis, also known as the main event, and kind of also known as TME. I'm your host, Justin Summers, and Wrestling Cheers is brought to you by Midwest Territory. Please rate, review, and subscribe your ever this fine podcast. Whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, or Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose to desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com. Like I said, this is an interview with TME. All right, so kind of a lot to go over here early in the episode. First and foremost, kind of want to get one of the sadder things out of the way, and thoughts and prayers go to John Thorne right now. May not sound as serious to some, but you know, it sucks to have to do this. He had to put down Mr. Whiskers this past weekend, and as a pet owner, I know that it's a very difficult thing, especially a pet that has been, you know, by your side through many hard times, and here you are, you know, having to go through one without them. So, you know, a lot of us pet owners really feel for John Thorne right now. In other news, before I get any further in the episode, in the show notes, I will have a link to a GoFundMe for me. It's something that I think I've might have touched on the podcast. I don't 100% know, but now that I got a microphone in front of me, I'm going to talk about this. It's nothing like really serious, but it's something that obviously means something to me. So I grew up an only child, but I did actually have a half sister out there, but I hadn't seen her since I was a baby, and I don't really count that. She did not have a great relationship with my father. So at that time, she no longer wanted to be in my dad's life and cut him out of hers. So I went many years. I mean, I knew I had a half sister, but I didn't necessarily know anything about her. Ever since I started getting on the internet as an adult, and I say that as like once I got into my adult years, especially with the explosion of social media, I really wanted to find her. I would try every so once in a while, couldn't really get any leads. Tried to look up any information I could never find her. Fast forward to last year. Oddly enough, all this happened during the Browns-Chargers game, and, well, that's the game that's going to be this Sunday. So while watching the game, I got this weird text out of nowhere. Spoiler, it wasn't her, but it seemed really weird. I didn't know if someone had a wrong number or someone was trying to act like somebody else, but it was definitely someone I didn't know. And they were acting a little weird, so I went on Google and tried to search their number. Well, I ended up stumbling upon a website where you had to pay to get information about a number, but it wasn't you paid like per transaction. It was like you had a membership to like look through the site. Well, they didn't have a free trial, but they did have like a $1 trial. I think it was for like a week. So I was like, it's $1. Let me do it. So I do it, looked the number up, but it was nothing. Didn't really find anything. But now that I had this trial, I was like, let me look some things up. A lot of times I'll look myself up just to see what information on like stuff like this pops up. And I was like, well, let me look up my dad. and my grandmother, just see what things pop up. And when I do stuff like this, even if the information's free or this like particular day, like nothing of my sister ever was linked. So I kind of started doing some brainstorming of information that I did have. I knew when my dad and his ex-wife got married, and I know when they got divorced. And in the divorce information that you can find online, it said they had a daughter, or one child, I believe. Obviously, I know it's a daughter. So that gave me a window of how old she was, because I didn't necessarily know her age and I didn't know her birthday. And something that I remember talking to my dad about last time the topic of her came up, he said the last place that he knew she lived was San Bernardino, California. So that's what I used. Somebody in San Bernardino, California with that age range. I also checked El Paso because that's where they can't remember if it was married or divorced, but I knew they had lived in El Paso at one point. So I'm looking through San Bernardino with that age range, checking out anybody that with what my sister's name, what I knew it was or what I thought it was. I did end up finding one person, and I'd always check their social media if it was somewhat linked to it. Came across this one person, fit a lot of the descriptions. When I looked at her, I somewhat seen the picture of the girl that I knew was my sister, like probably a teenage picture of her, a young teenage picture at that. But the kicker was this person was friends on Facebook with one of my cousins that lives out in Arizona. And I was like, that's too much of a coincidence. You live in roughly the area that you were thought to live in. You fit the age range. You kind of look like the picture, and you're friends with my cousin. I took it a little further. I knew my dad's ex-wife's name, at least her first name. That was this woman's mother's first name. I was fairly certain that this had to be her, but I had to figure stuff out. She didn't seem like she was someone that posted on Facebook a lot. So I knew messaging and everything wouldn't necessarily go through as quick. Well, on this Facebook page, I found out that she had a barbershop with her mom that she owned and ran. That barbershop had a Facebook page and it had a phone number to call. Well, I called that phone number. It was a Monday, and I believe turns out they were closed on Monday. But on that voicemail, it gave their personal phone numbers. So I called the woman to believed to be my sister. Didn't answer. I figured. Weird number calling. I might have been calling a little bit too early for her out in California, or even just her schedule out in California. And I asked her if this was her name. Turns out one of the reasons why I couldn't find her, and I'm not going to just release the information right now, but her name had obviously changed. She had gotten married, so the last name was different. Figured that. But she went by a different form of her first name. And I asked, is this you? The abbreviated version. She said, yes, who's this? I said, my name is Justin Summers, and I believe I'm your brother. I heard nothing back. So the next day, I wrote a very long text, kind of pouring my heart out, because, I was sure it was her, but I didn't know how she felt about me, because I might be her brother, but obviously it seemed like she hadn't been looking for me. And there was issues with my dad, so maybe that had, been pushed onto me too. Hours later, I get a text from her that said, I'm on my way to work, call me. I then had an over-hour conversation with my sister. Now, I go into all this and telling the story of the GoFundMe is to go meet my sister. There are things that I could sell for money, but I'm not necessarily sure if it's going to be enough. So that's why I put up a GoFundMe. It's for $1,500, and that is to fly me and my wife down to San Antonio, Texas. Since getting contact with her, she has moved. So I want to go down and meet her, and this would actually, the weekend we're planning on going is at the end of this month, and it would be the weekend of my 1-year anniversary. I don't know if I can get the 1,500 raised. I'm going to start pushing it more this weekend, but flat out my goal is to have my first real personal face-to-face interaction with my sister. It's it was so crazy just to finally find her. And then slowly but surely over the last year, we've, kind of started to build our own relationship. It's very hard. Me being in my 30s and she's almost 50, or I think she might have just turned 50. Like, we got a decent sized age gap and we hadn't been in each other's lives for 35 years. If I could just get, 30 people donating $50, that would be great. I don't normally come on here and really ask for money, but desperate times call for desperate measures. I had the merch store for a while, but honestly, not many people are buying shirts. And I would love to be able to give you something in return, but I can't. So I just ask, if you find it in your heart, donate a little. I kind of have a mark that if I can't make it to 1,500, if I make it to a certain other mark, I think I'll be fine. But 1,500 is for sure where I want to go. Maybe if I can get this raised, I'll do some sort of YouTube video of vlogging meeting my sister. I'm not really good at that shit, but we'll see how it goes. So even if you can't give, just if you could share, retweet it. I have unlocked my Twitter account for this month for it. I'm going to keep it unlocked until either raised or till the trip happens. So I took up a lot of your time here. Let's get into the real reason why you're here. And that is the main event. TME, Ganon Jones Jr. and Duke Davis. If you remember correctly, back when I interviewed Isaiah Broner early in the year, you had a run-in from the main event, and they basically said, don't be asking stupid questions, like dumb podcast questions. And I told them, I'm like, you guys are on my list of like people that I want on. And oddly enough, that was at OWA's Good Trouble 3. Well, this interview was at OWA's Good Wrestling, or Good Trouble 4. Want to give a big shout out to Justin from OWA. The dude has really helped me out in some of these situations, not necessarily getting the interviews. I'm someone who always does my own legwork, but just kind of helping with certain communication and figuring stuff out of when I'm going to record, where I'm going to record. With this one, with it being a double show, I wasn't able to record in the same space that I recorded last time, and there was not much time between shows. So luckily, with my setup, I'm able to go outside. I have my Zoom H6 recorder works off batteries. I have an adapter for it that I can plug into a wall or plug into a power bank. So let's get into that interview with the main event. And this week was supposed to be the review for AIW's In the Mouth of Madness, and this interview was going to be next week. Had a little trouble booking somebody for the review. Just people were busy and whatnot. So with this in my back pocket, decided just to switch things up. So you're getting the main event interview this week. Let's go to that interview.
All right. We are back here on the podcast, and I am here with...
We are literally back here, like back in the back.
I'm here with the main event, and I was warned last time we were here at this venue about asking corny bullshit questions. There will be no corny bullshit questions.
That's good.
That's good. That's good.
I already know how you guys got together.
Sweet.
I already know background of the mascot.
Mm-hmm.
I might have done my homework, listened to a bunch of interviews, and got a lot of stuff.
It's good.
Good.
Here's one thing that I want to know.
Okay.
All right. Do they know who you're talking to?
Well, there's going to be an intro.
All right.
It's going to be the name of the episode, too. But yeah, we got Duke Davis, Ganon Jones Jr., the main event.
Sweet.
So, who picked the music? Like,
Me, I guess.
Yeah.
What happened was I was injured, and when I came back from my injury, we were both singles wrestlers at this point.
yeah.
When I came back, I just started using what we use now as our tag music, which is Outlet by Designer. So I started using it as a singles song. So we were wrestling, singles, and then when we got together, we were trying to think of music, and Duke's like, "No, we're using your music."
Yeah.
I was like, "You sure you don't want?" He's like, "Nah, that shit's too hard. Like we're
right.
Dude,
that's
He
the
legit
one.
was like, yo, I got all these. What about this song? What about this? I was like, what about your song?
Yeah.
Like, that song is hard. Let's use that.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
I guess.
Like,
So I tried doing a thing, but you know what?
I mean,
Hey,
it's easily like one of the best themes out there of like, especially like AIW. It's like, as soon as that music hits, it's just like, I mean, I love listening to it just alone. I'm
You're
like,
right.
yeah, this like it gets you like pumped, ready.
Absolutely.
Like, it's so fucking good.
hell yeah.
We wanted to have something that people remember,
Yeah.
and something that was different because the beginning is a little longer than normal.
Yeah.
You know, people that's walk straight out, so it kind of like builds to like us coming out.
Yeah.
So it like goes with the main event. You know what I mean? Goes with what we're trying to put out there.
Because I think the funny thing, I would have picked the main event by Chameleonaire, but it doesn't fit who you guys are.
It doesn't-
like
it doesn't-
at all. So it's just like I can't knock it. Like granted, the name's there, but
Yeah.
That's about it.
But that's about it. A lot of those songs is like the name's there, but it doesn't connect with us.
Yeah. Absolutely.
we're also here on a Sunday. There's football going on as we speak.
Right.
We have, I haven't heard it on many interviews. I thought I heard it on one, and definitely we've had conversations about it at least. See, Duke, you are a Washington fan.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
And
It sucked.
unfortunately, Ganon is a Packers fan.
I don't think that's unfortunate though.
I'm also a Bears fan, so it is unfortunate for me.
Oh, yeah, after
can't
last
really, I
week.
can't really say anything.
No, you can't.
I
Not
think
at
I
all.
knew that. I think you said that before.
Yeah, I did. And even though you guys are from Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
you guys have these other
Well,
teams.
he's not originally from Pittsburgh.
not
Yeah,
originally
that's right. You're from Virginia.
Yeah. That's why I like the Washington.
Yeah.
The
Which
Washington.
makes sense.
Yeah, I'm from and born in Pittsburgh, but my stepfather's from Milwaukee. So my entire childhood, I was
Okay.
back and forth between Pittsburgh and Milwaukee. And with him being like the male figure in my life, he's who I kind of went towards for sports.
Okay.
So he was a Packer fan. I was like, I'm a Packer fan. And I saw Brett Favre played one time, and I was like, well, I'm hooked.
That's it.
That's all I needed. So
Speaking of Brett Favre.
I mean, as much as I don't like the Packers, I mean that's respectable. I do love the stories of like generation to generation.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Want to be like my dad or whatever.
are you from Chicago?
No,
So what's your story?
Yeah, how do you become a Bears fan?
We're
from
flipping this interview.
Cleveland?
that's fine. And this is ironic, especially if you know the truth. I became a Bears fan partially because when the Browns went away, I needed the
yeah,
team.
yeah. That's right,
The
yeah.
second is I'm a huge Chris Farley fan, and on the SNL skits, the Chicago
Bears.
Super fans, turns out real life, Chris Farley was a Packer fan.
He was a Packer fan.
So-
I was just about to say that. I was like, I don't know if you knew this.
Oh,
but
I knew it. But at that point, I was just so far in it. I'm like, I can't.
I can't turn
I
around.
can't change this allegiance. So
But you like the Browns too.
I do like the Browns.
Okay.
That's my definitely home team. Grew up with them.
Right.
But also, like for me, before fantasy football, if I wanted to watch more football and like be invested, it was like I had to pick another team.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people like this too. Like especially in my era, it's like you like the Browns and
Somebody else.
somebody.
yeah.
And crazy, like I know a lot of Browns Packers fans,
Really?
like a ton, and probably more, especially after that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because like after all the Browns fans were like,
Yeah, you beat the
go,
Steelers.
Go Green Bay.
Yeah.
Go Green. And I was like in a weird position because it's like I have one rival going against another rival. I had to root for the Green Bay Packers.
Go ahead.
I couldn't have like 7 Super Bowls, here we go, and I'm like no, like
Because you're too close to them. The proximity
Yeah,
of
it is.
your hatred with the
It
Green Bay
is.
Packers isn't as close as your proximity with Pittsburgh.
I don't because like I'm not around as many
Right.
Packers fans.
Right.
Like I definitely don't hate them as much because like I know a lot of cool Packers fans. We don't really get into shit, but I imagine when you get, especially in the Chicago, Wisconsin area,
when you're up there, it's real.
yeah, that's
It's a little different.
It's really,
Yeah.
it's really real.
That's
up
like
there.
me when like the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Like Cowboys
Yeah.
fans. Like I'm not really around them, but I've just had this seated hatred for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys situation's crazy. Like they are, America's team and everything, but I look at them like, no, I don't know if I want to call them America's team.
I feel like the Patriots have been America's team
right.
for
That's what I've been saying.
about 20 years
The
now.
new generation.
The new generation, yeah.
And just with the name the Patriots, doesn't that go into being
Red,
an
white, and
America's
blue,
team?
that's-
It's like the Patriot, like it's right there.
100%.
But America's built on being cowboys, being rebels, rebellious. So that's why I think the Cowboys, they went that way. Plus, when they got that name, they were like
They were good first.
they were good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They were a good team.
And you know who probably could be another America's team, and I hate saying it, is the Green Bay Packers, because because they are small town America that managed to get this. Yeah, I was going to say title town. I was here from other places, and I'm like, I don't know. My Green Bay has like
I mean, their
one
name,
team, but they have
their name is from their coach being the title, Lombardi Trophy.
True.
You gotta give it. You gotta give it to him. I know it. I can see it in your face. It pains you.
The NFC Trophy is called the Hallis title. I mean, the Hallis Trophy, which I love, and the Hall of Fame is on George S. Hallis Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys been there?
I've not. I've never been to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
No, never been to Canton.
It's a fun place to go.
I bet.
I've been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but I've never been to Canton.
It's at Cleveland, right?
Cleveland, yeah.
Yeah.
Never been to Canton.
I've never been to any Hall of Fame.
None of them?
Not.
I would like to go to the NFL Hall of Fame.
That'd
I
be
would like to
cool.
go all of them.
Yeah.
Cooperstown.
NFL is a fun one. Like, I just went there.
What city's that close to? Big city. Canton.
Canton's a fairly big
Canton
city.
is, but like,
But
I'm
where
trying
is
to
it?
think, would we be able to go there en route to a show or from a show?
An Akron show. Akron AIW show.
Oh,
If you guys
okay.
ever booked there, it's literally like not that far down the highway.
Okay.
I mean, Akron Canton is like
I think they.
right
yeah,
next to each, like,
yeah, you're right. It's Canton.
I'm just trying to plan stuff here.
Yeah, we
I
can
mean-
figure it out. Yeah.
dude, like
Make a thing of it.
Yeah, make a day of it.
making a main event promo like right in front of the Hall of
There
Fame
you go.
too, like that.
Hey, it sounds good.
Sounds
man.
good on paper.
Sounds good on paper. We just gotta make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Commanders. How do you,
I don't even want to talk about it. They suck, man. They're terrible.
how do you feel about the name right now?
I don't think the name is as bad as a team.
Okay.
The problem is when you suck, the name is gonna suck. So like they came out the gate, they came out winning. It'd be a winning name. But right now, Commanders, what have they won? They haven't done anything.
That's true.
So if they came out blazing, you know, beating everyone convincingly, then there'd be a different type of attachment to it. All right? Remember when the Patriots first started, they were terrible. They were
Yeah.
a terrible team, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the name Patriots kind of like ironic, like you Patriots, but you guys suck. You know what I mean? So now they're winning, you associate the winning with Patriots. But if you think about the name, it's kind of like that was lackluster's way of thinking about naming a team. Yeah. But now, or like any team, like the Browns, where did it come from? The Packers. It's all about winning. The more you win, the more your name becomes your name. You know what I mean? So right now, I think the name sucks.
I think across the board, like just the names were like you even mentioned Green Bay, like that in hindsight, it's kind of a dumb name.
What is
like,
a Packer?
It's the Acme Packing Company.
It's a meat packing company.
Yeah.
That all the members of that worked at the meat packing company came together and just started playing football together.
Yeah.
And they created a team, right?
Yeah.
And at some point, someone was like, man, what is this? But then they started what? Winning.
Yeah.
Win the first two Super Bowls.
You win the first two Super Bowls. Now you looked at as the powerhouse team, right?
Well, even before the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah,
like,
they were winning the
let's,
NFL
let's go back to
championships,
the NFL championship, like under Lambeau. Like that's a historic franchise even before the Super Bowl.
They won
I'm
9 of
saying,
them
right?
things before the Super Bowl came around.
But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you associate a team with winning, the name doesn't seem that weird.
Yeah. I mean, even Steelers.
Put it like this, the Washington football team won more games than the Washington Commanders. Why change it? We had a great year when we were called the Washington football team. We went to the playoffs.
Yeah, you guys won the division.
We won the division.
This year's not over yet, though.
Yeah,
it's over, bro.
We're 2 weeks in. Everything.
It's over.
There are
Hey,
so
they have
much
2
that
points
happened.
right now. They got a safety at some point.
Ooh, safety.
What is the score?
24-2.
Okay, what is today? Today, I just want to make sure because I don't know when you're going to post this. This is September 20th. This is Sunday, September 25th, and currently, you told me the score was what?
24-2.
Okay, everyone else on this board that you're showing me has either scored a touchdown or kicked the field goal. We're the only team that's out there playing soccer. We're playing soccer right now. Are you serious? We got Messi on our team. Who's on our team? Ronaldo? We're playing soccer out there.
You're right. I was just trying to.
We're going to change the subject. My blood pressure has been going crazy. You try to get me all excited before I go out there. But it's 24-2. It's 24-2.
Yeah. It's not good.
Doesn't even make any sense. It might be 24-1. It might be 24-1. Doesn't matter.
But you saying that about the Commanders reminds me right now of the Guardians.
The Cardinals?
The Guardians.
The
Baseball.
Guardians.
Yeah.
Because when that name changes,
Switched the
so
name.
many people are like, "Oh, it's a dumb name." But they're winning now.
They're winning.
It took them a second.
They're like one game away from the playoffs.
Yeah, they're close.
And if you look at the name, they put
There's the Guardian Bridge.
G in front of Indians.
I generally like it. I don't mind. I'm the kind of person I don't mind name changes because even after a while, like I mean, it'll always feel weird. Like to call,
But it was a good transition, is what I'm saying. Guardians was a great transition because it made sense. Tell me, what exactly are we commanding?
well, isn't it because
Respect.
Wasn't it because like Washington D.C. and the military, the commanders, and also the
It had nothing to do with anything. They could call us the Washington Red Tails. So it'd have been even better.
Oh, I would have loved that.
That'd
That would have been my new favorite team.
That'd have been great.
I'd have loved the Packers.
Homage to past actual historical history and not commanders are like, what is that? Commanding the sea? When was the last time we commanded the sea?
But again, if they start winning,
Because there's a ship out there doesn't mean anything. We got plenty of shipyards. We should have been called the Washington Shipyards.
I mean, yeah.
Get off on a tangent about the Commanders. They're a terrible team, man. Terrible organization run by a terrible person. And it's not going to stop. It's not going to, because he can't do nothing about him.
Mm-hmm.
It's a terrible organization. Period.
Everyone turns around eventually, though. Who knows when?
We already did. We did a couple years ago. Went to the playoffs. Was 7-9.
You got to turn back around. Like,
You gonna keep turning around? Keep turning around.
I mean, I'm a Browns fan. And I'm still waiting for them to fully turn it around. I mean, we
you guys got close.
You guys do things that the Browns, and I feel for you because, like, at least I watched my team win a championship. But the Browns do things that, like, you have a great team on paper. You have a great team for the first 3 quarters of a game, and then sometimes it could be the first 4 quarters and the last 15 seconds or something that goes off the rails, and it's like traumatic.
Very much like the Lions. Everything's in place for a win.
They look
And
good.
they're like, you know what? I bet we could lose the game if we just did this one thing. And it's like they go out and try to do it. And I feel bad for them every year because for as long as obviously I've been alive, the Lions have been an embarrassment.
They always try to fumble the ball.
They had Calvin Johnson and they had Barry Sanders in my lifetime, and I just watched like, wow, this.
How do you have the number 1 at the time running back and do nothing, and then have the number 1 wide receiver and do nothing, and then at a point you had Stafford, which was
a top 5
quarterback
yeah.
and do nothing.
Still is.
He
but,
goes to another team that has laid out for him. He goes to another team and wins
immediately.
a Super Bowl.
Immediately.
It's like, so it can't. It's not the player.
No.
It's obviously because Calvin could have left. He decided to retire.
Yeah.
Barry could have left. He decided to retire.
Mm-hmm.
Stafford was the only one that was like, you know what? Let me try leaving and winning, and he did it. Now he's looking like, Barry, you and Calvin, y'all could have did this way. Y'all
could have just left.
Y'all could have just left.
Dude, imagine if Calvin Johnson went somewhere else.
He would have won.
He would have won
Because he would have picked where he went.
Exactly.
And at the time, I mean, he could have went to New England. He could have. I mean, there was a lot of good quarterbacks at that time. He could have really hurt the. I was like, he could have really hurt Detroit's fans and went to Green Bay. He could have did some. He could have went anywhere, but I don't blame him for retiring either. He's gonna have his memory in his mind for.
he's already in Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's good.
So he's good.
I don't know if I wanted to see Calvin Johnson and Aaron Rodgers together. That just
No. That'd have been years of dominance.
that makes me sick just thinking about it. I'm
That'd
happy.
have been
I'm so happy that
years
it never
of
happened.
straight up dominance. Could you imagine Calvin on one side and Devontae on the other?
No, because Calvin would just be retiring right around now.
And what's his name?
Jordy,
No, Jordy.
he would have been there too.
And then whatchamacallit that came in? What's his name?
Cobb,
Cobb.
that would have been nasty.
Those 4?
Yeah, he could have went somewhere.
That would have been atrocious.
It must have been bad for him to just go like, you know what? I would rather just never play football again than to.
And also, those years in the Lions, he got banged up a lot. Like he was he was the only option. He was the only option.
It was kind of like with Cleveland when we had Cribs. I mean, granted, he wasn't much on the offense. I mean, he did here and there, but
He was good on special teams.
Oh, he was amazing
He was a special team. Him and at that time,
Devin Hester.
Devin Hester. Those two were like the special
I
team
hated Devin
demons.
Hester.
Yeah, I bet you did. I bet
Don't
you
kick it
did.
to Hess.
Man, I loved him, but I hated him. I never understood it. Every time we'd play him and we'd kick to him, I'm like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
I'd rather just take the 15-yard penalty, kick it out of bounds on punts.
One of my favorite memories ever
What are
was
you
him,
trying to prove right now?
his returning the opening kickoff in the Super Bowl against the Colts.
Yes.
Like all year, he was creating headaches for people.
Yes.
Super Bowl starts and they kick directly to him. I was like, you motherfuckers you haven't been watching, have you?
Did you just
To
turn
the
the game
house.
off?
I can't remember if
That was so cool.
If it was that season or another season when the Giants went for a field goal.
Yeah.
And
He just went
Test
back.
returned, and I like because he caught it and he just stood there for a second like and then he darts and like takes it all the way. That to me, I think of all his returns, it's the Super Bowl one and that one are my favorites.
He was
him
up
in
to
the
be
Hall of Fame.
he was up to be last year and they passed on him.
I think they're not going to keep it.
It's gonna be
Next couple
tough.
years.
Yeah. For he was never going to be a first ballot, unfortunately, because
He didn't have another position.
yeah.
But, as far as being a dynamite player, there's no other. Who can you go to? Like, I don't know.
He's the greatest returner of all time.
Eric Metcalf, I don't know. Jackson didn't do it long enough.
Dante Hall was good, but
Dante
he
Hall was
didn't do it
good, the
long
X
enough.
factor.
Yeah.
But he didn't change. He changed games. Like, you had to make sure that either you believe in your special teams or you had a game plan kick it away from him.
Him and Cribbs both. I think one of them has the record for punts. The other one has it for kickoffs.
Yeah, I think Devin has kickoffs.
Yeah.
And then Devin has, I think, all total.
A total, yeah.
Total
but then
too. But Cribbs has
punts, I think, yeah.
so like having both of those at the same time, I love that. I was actually just thinking recently, like especially watching
That was a fun time.
watching the Thursday night game. I'm like, man, I really like for a guy like Cribbs, not even just maybe on our team, just like in the NFL, we don't have that right now.
No.
A dynamic player that you need to watch if he had catching the ball.
It's not cool to
Another
own that
person
right
would
now.
be like Cordell Patterson,
Oh, I love Cordero Patterson.
and he's like a utility. He's like a wrench.
Swiss Army knife.
He's a Swiss Army knife. Like you just throw him out there and like, you know what? Go play running back for a game and get 120 some yards and a touchdown. Like,
Running back, built like a fullback, plays wide receiver.
and can throw the ball if needed.
Yeah.
He can play quarterback.
Yeah, he does everything.
Does everything. He's still in the league. He's like, I don't know how long he's been in the league, but I feel like he's been in the league for like 20 years.
Yeah. He's
He's
consistently
been
good.
around for a long time. He's got some rings too. So
Will this be the year that Aaron Rodgers gets number 2?
No.
Really?
Not with no. I mean that roster's awful. I as a Packer fan, I'd like to say yes, but I'm a very realistic.
I know a lot of
Football
delusional Packers fans that go for perfect season every year and say this will be the year.
Absolutely not. I'll be happy if they get 10 wins this year. I think there's going to be a struggle to win the North, to be honest. And I do not see them going anywhere near the Super Bowl. Not with this team as it is, but I think they'll be all right. I think it'll be all right. But I don't really have super high expectations for them. They didn't really fill that void that Devontae left. And
they
you
didn't
kind
even
of
feel their own defense either. Like,
no. I think their defense will be okay.
but if you're gonna lose like a dynamic player like that,
Yeah.
a stalwart like that, you should probably get something on defensive end to make up, like kind of make up for it.
Yeah.
Get a Devontae Adams on defense
Yeah,
type thing is what I'm saying.
and they really didn't. And I mean, they're going to have one of the best run attacks. I think they actually, right as we speak, have the number 1 rush offense in the league.
yeah,
really?
definitely.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, with Dylan and Jones, it'll be good running. I mean, you can win a championship that way, but it's gonna be tough. We got a lot of rookie receivers. But they just put Sammy Watkins on the injured reserve list.
I seen that
from practice. I was like, okay, it was rough.
I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, on the NFC side, we got Tampa Bay, they got New Orleans, but they're going to battle against each other because they're in the same division. Division.
The NFC's wide open.
They got you guys.
Eagles.
They got Eagles. They got who's the other team?
The Commanders.
No. The Vikings. They got the Vikings. I would say
the Bears. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, no.
That's the
I'm
top.
not
I would say
delusional.
the top echelon is those 5.
I'd say.
So, missed field goal here. Looking at it, like, I mean, we watched people lose games based on miss. Like, who would have thought the Bengals would be 0-2?
No.
I don't know what the record. I don't know what the score is to the game.
They're
right
winning
now.
right now 27-12.
Okay, so it looks like they're going to beat the Jets.
Yeah.
But, well, how much time is left? Because Cleveland lost his
14 minutes.
Oh, this happens.
14
Oh no, they got too much.
That's
That's
a
too
lot
much
of
time.
time.
That's too much time for the Jets. They can build back a comeback within 2 minutes. They've done it before. They're doing it again. But those five teams, like you never know. Like I said, the Bengals are 0-2 with a great team.
Yeah.
Oh, the Rams. Did you say the Rams?
The Rams. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The Rams 6. So those 6 are going to be battling against each other to find out who's going to be number 1. But who thought the Bengals would be 0-2 at this point? So it's kind of like it's still wide open.
It's a weird league. It's a weird
league. Only teams that I think is really out of it is the Washington Commanders. Washington Commanders are really we're just out there playing to see who gets traded.
I would say the Bears are out of it. I'm not expecting.
They're in a rebuilding stage. I like Justin Fields.
They have young.
I don't know how you feel about him, but I like Justin Fields.
They got good, flashy players. Mm-hmm. So I can see them sneaking in somehow.
Here's my issue with the Bears, and I was talking about it with a lot
Minnesota.
of people.
I never believe in Minnesota, by the way, ever. But go ahead.
I was saying it a lot on Thursday, but like I didn't like Mitch Trubisky even on the Bears. But my biggest thing is that they had just literally sold the farm to get Mike Glennon,
right,
and then trade everything away that they did to move up to get Mitch. And I'm like,
what was that?
Why are you doing this for 2 quarterbacks? And
right,
now like neither of them play on the team. Neither of them really got you anything. Mitch got us a playoff game.
He won the division.
Playoff game, but I hate to say it.
Sorry.
Jay Cutler did better.
He did.
Well, I'm gonna say this, Mitch.
And I think if Cutler didn't go out, we might have won that game. I don't want to say we would have, but our odds would have been better because literally it was neck and neck until
Who would? Jason Cutler?
Jay Cutler, yeah.
Jay Cutler?
Yeah.
The interception demon? Yeah, you would have lost.
But the big interception in that game wasn't him.
Yeah, but I mean,
it was Todd Collins.
It goes down the line.
And he was garbage.
I mean, he was old. He was like 50.
Big arm Jay Cutler.
But what were we saying about the Mitch on the Steelers? Yeah. I don't dislike him on the Steelers because I don't think the Steelers were never about having the best ever quarterback. I don't think Ben Roethlisberger was like the best ever in any category.
No.
Yeah.
In any category, right? He's never been the best in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always about their defense. And I don't think that with all the position people that are getting older now, and all it's really leaning heavy on what TJ is going to do. And if TJ can't stay healthy through the year, that's going to be tough on Mitch because he's a guy who has to do more down the field, which he's not able to do. That's because that's not his skill set. His skill set is to manage the game.
Yeah, I saw a stat. They've never won a game with TJ Watt not playing. That's pathetic.
It won't happen.
Wow.
They're literally 0-8.
Since he's been a starter. Yeah.
Ever since he started playing, if he is not playing in a game, they have never won. That includes this past game on Thursday.
Wow.
It's going to be a tough year if he's not able to go at not just play, but able to go at his
Yeah. Because when you come back from a pec injury, like he could miss maybe 6 games, but if everything stays true, that's 6 losses. So now what?
I don't see them winning any games based on the defense.
You're
that they
1-6
constructed now.
You might as well throw the season away at that point.
Yeah. And every player they have like is young, 1 or 2 years, or older. So it's like your time has been left at a good time.
Yeah.
He really left.
Great time.
There's no.
I wish he'd have left a year sooner, but that's only because I really want that last game for him to be against the Browns in the playoffs.
Oh, the loss.
And Pittsburgh. Oh, that
you wanted that.
Oh, he didn't want that. That's exactly why I played.
Yeah, he's like, no, I can't. No.
Hell no.
Nope.
So what was the last against the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
They gave him that big send off.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? There's no, like I said, that was because he's been there forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not because he didn't give them any championships because it was always based on running the ball and defense.
Yeah.
He tried his best towards the end to keep them in it by staying, taking on a punishment. That's being a game manager. That's not being, this guys you look to be like Tom Brady.
Yeah.
He's not gonna take you down the field fourth quarter. He's gonna take you down the field, kick a field goal. You know what I mean? But Tom Brady is more of a we're down by 1,000. All right, watch me work.
Just ask the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah. And that was 28-3, man. 28-3.
I remember watching it. I thought it was over. I'm like, oh my God.
Everyone did.
We're going to see another Tom Brady Super Bowl loss. And here he comes back. He even gets us overtime for the first time ever. Like,
No, he only loses the NFC East teams.
yeah.
They lost to the Giants twice.
Giants, Eagles.
Yeah. It's that defense, man. It's that defensive toughness that the NFC East used to have.
The thing I'll always say about the NFC East is, like, beginning of the year, you could pick the 4 teams randomly and say this will be the order that it ends, and you have a good chance of it being right, because I feel like from year to year, there is so much, like, change within that division of, like, one year one team's good, the next year they're horrible.
Yeah, look at the Giants right now.
Yeah. Well, they're 2-0, right?
They're playing well.
They're playing well. They're playing, and I think they're going to be. I think they're better than what people think they are.
I think they are too.
But I mean, as far as like the Washington Commanders, I think we're just out there playing to get people traded, bro. Someone's gonna get traded. Watch, we are the in between.
See your farm territory,
huh?
You're saying you're
we're like the Pittsburgh Pirates. Okay? You bring players here, we develop them to be good players for someone else, or great players for someone else, or you go there to get a big contract and you retire.
That almost sounds like the Cleveland Guardians for many years.
Yeah,
the same way.
We're a farm team, man.
Yeah.
We're, like Chase Young is going to be, once his contract's over, he's going to go to the Rams, or he's going to go to the 49ers, and he's going to go become a great
defensive player of the year
somewhere else. Mm-hmm. It's set up like that. It's literally set up like that.
So what's it like being like be part of these other fan bases in Pittsburgh territory? Because this is my feeling outside of Pittsburgh, especially even as a Browns fan, of like being everywhere, of going, I swear they're the most loved team, but the most hated team.
No. Most hated fan base.
Okay.
I don't dislike the team at all. I like the team. I just don't like the fans. The fans are just they're the thing about Pittsburgh Steelers fans. They will say you can have the best argument, like I just said about Ben not being the best player, right? The best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
Any time, right? They will throw in my face, well, he got 6 rings. Well, we got 6 rings. Like, no. Oh, see, that's not even an argument. That's just going on. And like, we don't like, you want to talk about the history. It's like, wait a minute. Are we talking about right now? Like, right now?
We're talking about 1978.
Oh, okay. We're talking about when like, I wasn't even born? Okay, let's talk about that. Like, you can't have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
And bring up valid points without them going, we got 6 rings.
Well, which I was happy the Patriots won 6, because it's like, okay, you're not the only one. You're not special anymore.
No. They are special, because guess what they're going to say? They cheated.
Oh, they cheated.
And they got there first.
And they did. The Patriots did cheat.
The first one, like, we got there first. Doesn't matter.
The Patriots did cheat. They did cheat. It's fact. If your quarterback gets suspended for cheating, you cheated. And if you get caught for cheating before, Spygate and all this, you cheated. So it's like, they did cheat. But it didn't cost them as far as like lineage. No one really brings it up. It's just like, that's not going to be a thing that keeps getting brought up. It's going to be like, oh, he cheated. But guess what? He's still great. You know what I mean? He still get a parade.
When I say hate, a friend of mine brought this up years ago, and I like it. There's like sports hate. You don't like actually hate. It's just like I enjoy like being against you, boo you, whatever it is. Like there's like that's part of hate. Like obviously.
Oh no, I hate the Cowboys.
Well,
there's not a player on the Cowboys that I hate the Cowboys.
You know what's funny? My favorite player in the NFL is Dak Prescott.
I do like Dak.
Well, he is not really a player. He's just like part-time.
Yeah, he's just there.
He's part-time.
When he went down against the Browns a couple years ago, I remember being like, oh man, that sucks. Like, I really like Dak.
Yeah.
He's a part-time billionaire, man. That's all.
Yeah, he plays hard. He gets hurt.
He just sits on the sideline after you. You gotta put that in his contract. They messed up. They gave him that money. I knew he was gonna get hurt. Every time a player gets a lot of money, they get hurt. Every time. Big contract, they gonna get hurt.
That's why they gotta take less money.
Like do like the freaking Steelers do. They don't pay nobody. They don't care who you are. They don't care who you are. You're getting the bare minimum. We're here to get championships. And they sold so many people on that too. They was like, they looked at other people like they're monsters. They made AB be a monster because he wanted more money, because no one else ever bucked at the system.
Yeah.
But he was also the wrong one to buck at the system. Mm-hmm. But had it been like Ben Roethlisberger that did it, They didn't look like, wait, what's going on here?
Oh yeah.
Let's figure this out, Ben. Let's figure this out.
Yeah,
But in fact, it was AB, a wide receiver, that they can, in theory, replace.
Mm-hmm.
But as you can see, their production as wide receiver has gone down since he left.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like the fans. The fans are
the worst.
like I said, man. You can't have a conversation with them. You can't. It's like they always revert back to how many rings they have. Like they won the game.
Ganon, do you ever throw out that the Packers have more championships?
No,
Because that's what I would. If I was a Packers fan, I'd be like, oh man, we got.
I live in the moment. Like, I gotta like. To me, like we're talking about this year.
Yeah.
So like, if someone wants to talk to me about the Packers, I'm
Right.
not bringing up anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the past, I'm looking at like, hey, they're 1-1. They look bad week 1. They look good week 2.
Because of the Bears.
We'll see what happens week 3.
Right.
Like I don't know what to tell you. Like I can't live in fantasy world. That's not
Because it's not real.
real.
And if you're in a conversation with someone, we're going back and forth, and you just be like, we got 6 rings.
Yeah. Or we won a Super Bowl more recently. Yeah, that was over 10 years ago.
Dude, that's
That's
why
a-
would I say that? That's
So-
weird.
I mean, cop out. That means you don't want to argue.
Yeah, that means
You're
I
done.
really don't have any.
I have nothing to come back.
I have no ammunition left in my gun, so now I'm just throwing my gun at you.
I mean, for you, it'd actually be like, well, last Super Bowl the Steelers went to, they lost.
That's what I say to Steelers fans.
To the Packers.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we have 6 rings. Like, what happened last time you went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Whoa. But yeah, okay. If you want to live in the past, I can.
Our players weren't healthy. Whoa.
Yes, they were.
That's
Charles
part of the
Woodson
game.
broke his collarbone in that game.
Everyone is hurt.
Yeah, everyone gets hurt.
Yeah, when you
It's
get,
the last game of the season.
yeah,
bro.
when you get to the Super Bowl, it's like,
You're lucky to
You're
have
the last
anyone-
one standing,
Yeah.
basically.
You're lucky that anyone can walk at this
I
point.
must say, you'd be lucky to have one person 100%.
That's not hurt. Absolutely.
Yeah,
That was
that's
only
what happened.
football.
That's only been what, Gronk, technically?
Yeah.
Because that was the only game he could play in.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but no, I don't throw that. I don't throw that around. I live in the moment.
The here and now.
Yeah, like towards the end of last season, they were number 1 in the NFL, number 1 in the NFC. If someone tried coming on at me with some weird shit, that's what I'm pulling.
Yeah.
Right.
But, oh, look at the records. Look at this. We have this. We have that. And then if your team can't match that, then we're not having much of a talk. But right now, it's so early. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But like I said to you, I don't foresee them this being their year, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
I just think they're too depleted. But you know, hopefully it's okay.
A lot of these, but I think Pittsburgh, man. I think we just live in a city where it's so football oriented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That like the fans are just like they love their high school team, they love their college team, that they get tattoos of Steelers on their arms and legs and stuff. They name their kids after Steelers players. You know what I mean? So it's like they are ingrained in this. It's like their team. You know, like Green Bay Packers fans. You know, they're like, this is our team, but it's so to a height and it gets toxic because it's like you can't. I refuse to have a conversation about football with a Steelers fan. Refuse. Unless you like my age. You know, we're
Yeah.
the same age. Older than me, younger than I'm not talking to you.
I just think if you can find anybody who's like level-headed on this stuff, and
It's
it,
tough,
it won't
man.
jump to the 6 rings or anything. It's just like, let's talk about here and now. Let's talk about, because like even
You went to Pittsburgh before, I'm guessing. Have you been to Pittsburgh?
yeah,
All right, so you've been around, right?
Yeah.
You think there's a logical
hey,
all the logical people in Pittsburgh move.
there's
Look at Pat McAfee. He left. He's like, I'm getting out of here, man.
there's some good fans. I mean, they're hard to find, but when you can get the ones that, like I said, that don't throw out like that kind of stuff. But I will find even like people last week going into the Browns Steelers game was like, oh yeah, we're gonna beat the Browns, blah blah blah. We swept them last year, and I'm like, well, by that logic, we beat you guys 2-1 the year before,
Yeah,
and
I
even the
hate that
playoff game.
last
Like
year.
you can't, because it's like it's a different team. It's like different.
This is why we're going to beat you, because what we did last year.
Preseason, you can talk about like, oh, based on last year, this team should be this, should be that, but you can't solely say, oh, we beat you last year, we're going to
Yeah.
beat you this year.
Right.
That's not.
There's a reason why any given Sunday, like that phrase exists, because that shit happens. When the Browns sucked one year, I think it was 2010.
We're literally turning heel on this podcast. What's going to happen is we'll go back home, we'll get booed. Whoever listens to the podcast from Pittsburgh, we're just getting booed was our music hit. So this is it. This is turning heel.
Talking about any given Sunday, the Colts are about to beat the Chiefs.
Oh,
Colts about to beat the Chiefs at home? Or who's at home?
Colts.
Okay, they play better at home anyway.
But they just got shut out by the Jaguars last weekend. So let's not talk about last week, right?
Right. Any given Sunday, man. Except when you're the Washington Commanders.
but I think it was 2010 or 2011. No, it was 2010. The Browns sucked,
Make sure.
and they managed to beat the Saints and the Patriots
Right.
within 3 weeks, and I think there was a bye week in the middle.
Right.
Like, we should have lost those games, but we won.
Right. The only time I will ever bet on a team is against my own team.
Don't like Mahomes?
Washington Commanders. The only time I will bet, I will always bet against my own team because I know my team.
Okay,
I know what they're
yeah.
going to do. Like today, I knew they're going to. Come on. Whoever beat the Eagles in a long time. Well, we beat them the year we went to playoffs. It was 7-9 when we beat them. So.
Yeah.
And also they had to take out their starting quarterback who was driving on us and put in the backup. So.
All right. I didn't mean to make this a whole football podcast, but I love it.
Hey man, whatever, man. We won't talk about, man.
All right, let's get into the Fave 5 questions.
Hey, this is Booker T, 5-time champ, and this is the Fave 5 questions. Now, can you dig it?
And we will start off with bacon or sausage.
Oh, that's a good one. I always feel like sausage is more filling because it's like heavier.
Yeah.
But I like the way bacon tastes more, so I'm gonna go bacon.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with bacon because you can do a lot of different things with it. You can break it up. You can put it on your eggs. You can put it in your salad. It's a different thing. You can't put sausage in your salad. It tastes disgusting.
I'm more of a sausage person.
Okay.
That's just
Ain't no
me.
wrong with
Sausage
that.
is
We like
great.
sausage.
When it comes to the bacon, though, like, do you like it crispy or the not crispy?
Crispy. I don't like that flippity floppity shit.
A little
If I have bacon, I
flingy.
love it.
You like it? You like you can fling across the
You eat that goddamn fruit by the foot joint.
stretchy bacon.
I prefer that because I've had bacon where it's too hard.
Oh yeah.
Where it's just like you're gonna break a tooth.
Like cool piece
No,
of
if you
wood
cook
gave
it, if
me.
you cook it the right way, it's supposed to be crispy.
A little bit of crisp in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be. I don't know.
I want my bacon all chewy.
All right. Question number 2: favorite cereal.
Oh, I'm not a big cereal fan anymore. I definitely was growing up, early 20s. But my favorite cereal is Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes.
That's a good one.
Tony the
I'm a
Tiger.
Tony the Tiger guy. I'm a Frosted Flakes guy.
I'm gonna go. I used to be Captain Crunch.
Oh, nice.
Used to be Captain Crunch.
Peanut butter?
Peanut butter
Okay.
Captain Crunch. I used to be Reese's peanut butter. You see where I'm going with this?
I see you.
Now, I'm old school. Honey Nut Cheerios.
There you go.
Honey Nut Cheerios.
That's the only cereal we have in my house at all times. My daughter likes it too. My wife likes it.
It's good for your heart.
That's what I've been told. I think Honey Nut Cheerios is like one of the only Cheerios I can eat. I can't eat regular Cheerios.
Oh hell no!
Like,
without honeys or nuts on them.
It's,
That's
especially,
regular Cheerios. The yellow box. Get
Blank
this out
ass
of here.
Cheerios.
especially
This
with
is a mess out of here.
my hot take is like if anyone who says they like Lucky Charms, I'm like, oh, you like Cheerios with marshmallows? Okay,
It's pretty much
That's
what
what
it
it
is.
is.
like you take out the marshmallows, it's just
That's like people that say they like Kicks. I'm like, are you serious? You could just get Captain Crunch,
Kix was
Crunch
fine
berries.
as a kid, but like
Yeah, if you put a bunch of sugar on
Yeah,
it.
right.
no, I would eat that normal.
Really?
Like, but I can't
had
say.
that-
Do you remember Berry Kicks?
Yes,
Berry
but I
Kicks.
might as well get Captain Crunch and we'll get that.
Or Trix.
Or Trix.
Tricks, yeah.
Tricks are fire.
Trix is for kids.
Question number 3. I'm going to change this up for you.
Okay.
guys. It's supposed to be Sheets or Wawa, but where you guys are from,
Yes.
let's go Sheets or Gecko.
Still Sheets.
Sheets.
Sheets, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I like about geckos, their gas prices.
Yeah, that's about it.
You
What
can
about the Pilgrim?
The what?
the Pilgrim. That's good.
What is that?
It's like a Thanksgiving sandwich with
Oh,
turkey, mashed potatoes.
I'm pretty sure Sheets probably has their version of it.
they don't. Wawa does.
Wawa does? Oh.
Yeah, theirs is called the Pilgrim. Or no, theirs is called the Gobbler.
The Gobbler.
Gobbler.
I actually hate Wawa.
Yeah, I do not like
I don't like it at all. So
At
it's
all.
not even like even close. So
We stopped there. It was
whole
discombobulated. It was like inside out sheets.
No.
They have one thing I like at Wawa: cookies and cream milk. That's it.
Oh, that's cool.
and it's like a special Wawa brand.
Okay.
Nah,
I would like that.
Not really a Wawa guy.
Yeah.
Question number 4. I love food questions. Let's go Oreos or Chips Ahoy?
Oh, definitely Oreos. Definitely. No, to me, that's not even.
Man, Duke's giving you a look.
Not even. It doesn't matter if they're chewy Chips Ahoy, crunchy Chips Ahoy. Wow. It's 100%
You like the
Oreos. I like
I
them.
saw this one that has
they're
the,
both in front of my
has
face.
the fudge brownie inside a cookie.
Yeah.
So that's my only option. I'll eat it. But if they're both sitting in front of me on a table with a glass of milk, I'm grabbing the Oreos.
I definitely go through bags, especially the gold bag of Oreos. Double stuff.
Yeah.
Miss me. I'm terrible.
Oh, you like
The golden double stuff.
the golden? That's I'm a golden fan myself.
yeah.
Really?
I'd rather have a golden Oreo than a regular Oreo.
The
I
double
love-
stuff golden.
See, I love the regular Oreo cookie. When I was a kid, obviously you get the thing of like, I just want the cream, I just want the cream, I just want the cream.
That's how my daughter
But as an
is.
adult, I've grown to appreciate the chocolate of that
Oh,
cookie.
that's great.
Where I'm like,
amazing.
I could still eat just like if I say I peel it apart, I could eat that one without any cream on it.
That's
Like,
a great cookie right there.
Yeah, that's a
Solid cookie.
You had me go against my Chips Ahoy. Go with Oreos, the golden bag, because I eat the golden bag before I eat Chips Ahoy any day.
I'm more of an Oreo person, but right now we're in a Chips Ahoy kick at my house. So we got the chunky.
Oh, chunky Chips Ahoy. Those are good.
Those are good.
Those are really good.
All right, question number 5. Wings, bone in or out?
Oh, wings. Bone in or out. I thought I'm going to catch hell for this.
Oh, you're gonna say it. You're gonna say it.
Go ahead and say it.
I'm going to catch hell for this. But you can leave them damn bones right out. I know, like...
Gannon saying he like chicken tenders.
That, I mean, yeah, I do. That's the thing. Like,
nuggets.
I would rather have chicken tenders and chicken strips over like a piece of fried chicken with the bone in.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it stems from. But yeah, but I mean, it's basically a chicken nugget for sure. There's no other way to call it. But if I like went to Buffalo Wild Wings right now, and I got to pick like 12 wings or something like that, yeah, I'm probably picking boneless, like a child, for sure.
I'm a bone-in guy. I'm a bone-in guy right now. Again, it's going crazy because of the score. But I'm a bone-in guy because, and I take it a step further. I don't like flats.
Really?
I hate flats.
I'm a drum.
I'm a drum guy too.
Give me the
so
drum.
I mean, I won't turn either away. I can sit there and like I can down flats because I do the thing you put it in your mouth, bite down, just pull.
Take it.
Like so good.
I don't need that. I don't need to do that. I feel like I'd rather have give me the drum. I would give people flats. I would just give it. I would not eat it. That was the last thing in my house was flats. I don't want it. I'm all right.
Does your wife like flats more? Because mine does.
I don't know. Really, she eats both.
Okay.
She's a bother. I don't know. You know what? She probably does like flats a lot more.
Which works out if you're in a relationship. 'Cause
Yeah, just give her the
take
flats.
those, I'll take these.
Yeah.
And you're good.
Everybody's happy.
Give me the drum. My daughter, she likes the drum.
For both of you though, what's your favorite wing place and sauce?
Big Shot Bob's. That's in Pittsburgh. That's a Pittsburgh thing. Sauce. They have this thing called the Garbage Pail or something like that. They have a one that's like Steelers. They have basically it's the other one is like habanero ranch. They have.
Okay.
I like spicy food.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it spiced up. And if it's not spicy enough, I'll make it. I'll
Make it. You gotta doctor it up.
Yeah, I add some stuff to it.
Yeah, I would say Quaker steak for me. I'm not a huge wing person. Like I'd rather go get pizza or a burger instead. But if I'm getting wings, yeah, I like Quaker steak, and they have a sauce called the Louisiana Liquor.
That's a good one.
It's good.
That was the one.
yeah.
That was the one.
That was a good one. I haven't had Quaker steak in probably 6, 7 years. It's been a long time. Wow. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Quaker steak used to be my favorite, but recently I had a kind of a bad experience there, and I went to a Wingstop later in the week, and I'm
Yeah.
like, wing-wise, I love Wingstop's better,
Okay.
but sauce-wise, I love Quaker Steak's barbecue.
They have really
hands down
good
my
sauce.
favorite.
And I haven't had them in a while. I might feel the same if I try going to them again. But, yeah.
All right, last question, because in honor of Booker T, there are 6 questions on the Fave 5. One for both of you. This should be fairly easy. give me your prediction for your team's record at the end of the season. We'll have it digitally saved. Like, granted, we have 2 games down.
Do we have to do this with me?
Yeah, we got to do it.
All right. I go first.
Okay.
We're going to, like, how many games is it? 17 now?
17.
We'll be 4-13.
Okay.
We're gonna be 11-6.
Respectable. That'll still probably win. You think that'll win the division?
I don't know. The Vikings are good. They were losing to the Lions last I saw, and they're still losing with a minute left. So
The Vikings are good.
But they got the ball.
When they want to be good.
We'll see. But they looked awful on Monday.
They're not going to do good.
Kirk Cousins, those likes. Come on.
Yeah.
He turns into Kirk Cousins.
You know what he does? At the end of the year, he does good enough to keep his job every year.
It's like, well, his stats were there.
Right.
But yeah, but
he's not winning games. Yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts or last minute plugs before we go?
Last minute plugs. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter at It's the Main Event, at Duke Davis TME, at Ganon Jones Jr., all one word. And you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, also YouTube, It's the Main Event, and Facebook, It's the Main Event. I'm sorry, and Facebook, TME. Sorry.
And TikTok.
And TikTok as well, yes.
Yeah.
Same, it's all the same name. Everything. It's the Main Event.
consistency is key.
I 100% believe that. That's why my handles are like the same everywhere.
Right.
If you have one that's different, it just feels weird.
Throws everything off.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, there you have it. Duke Davis, Ganon Jones Jr., the main event. Funny little story. Oh, and I should have warned everybody beginning of the episode that, yeah, we kind of just talk about NFL football. It was a Sunday. That was kind of in the air. I had a shorter amount of time with them than I necessarily wanted, but I rarely get to hear them talk about football. I did my homework, listened to other interviews, and that didn't come up in any of them. Now, I do believe they were interviewed by Marks with Mikes. I know I believe I listened to it like when it came out, or when at least one of the episodes came out, because I think they've been on more than once. And I think they might have touched on football, and they might have touched on some other topics. So the homework that I did didn't necessarily involve Marks with Mikes, but everybody else that I listened to, none of them talked about NFL football. So I thought that was a fun topic to get into. If you're not an NFL football fan, sorry, Joe Sposto. Sorry, I wasted your time. Maybe you like the Fave 5 questions. But what I was saying before I kind of got off topic, funny thing is, after the interview, I was talking to them, and I mentioned this to Ganon before, but I've seen Ganon solo before, back before the main event was a thing. It was at a company that's no longer around, that only lasts like 2 years, called EWO. They ran in Canton, and we realized like, oh shit. Or even Ganon was like, oh shit, like I've been to Canton. I didn't fucking know it. Oh man. So that was a fun little addition that I wish we would have mentioned on the podcast. All right, let's wrap the show up. Of course, you can find myself at jsummers330 on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. But you can find the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose, desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com. Like I said earlier in the show, please rate, review, and subscribe your Everless is Fine podcast, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music, or Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. And all of those links are in the show notes and under the link tree link. Check out our podcast friends, such as Pod Van Dam, Super Fantastic Podcast, It's Evolution Baby, The IndieCast, Sobros Network, Biff Radio, GameWorks Podcast, Powerbomb Jitsu, Spotlight Series, Fully Posable, Positively Pro Wrestling, IWTV Guide, If You Catch My Grift, At Odds with Wrestling, Marks with Mikes, X-Over, The Powell Driver Podcast, Tornado Tag Podcast, The Uncut Wrestling Podcast, This Ends at Prom, and Porch Talk. And check out our other non-podcasting friends, such as The Mystery Men, Redline Radio, Mouse's Wrestling Adventures, VHS Party Tonight on Instagram, Danger Zone Video in Joliet, Tennessee, Heart of Gold, Toy Hio Toy Show, Time Capsule Toys, Stay Tough, Smokin' Jay's Barbecue, JCP Designs, Midwest Territory Southern Underground Pro, and the official graphic designer of Wrestling Cheers, Moy Boy Designs. That will do it for us here on Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name. And please donate to my GoFundMe later.
It's the Wrestling Cheers. Get up on your feet, brightening your day in the middle of the week. And you gotta love the show. Yeah, you know it holds a title for the best podcast talking wrestling in Ohio. Finishing a cold one, take a load off. We ain't all about the prohibition like Josh, so we cheers. And then we sit back. Other shows are in the trash, kinda like they Nick Stapp. Like the name is Matt Justice, wearing all the gold. Wrestling Cheers is coming to a close. The #1 podcast going in the game. And one day everybody's gonna know the name. It's the Wrestling Cheers. This is Platinum Max, signing off. Ohio, good night. The world, good night. We love you. We'll see you next week.